Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining my podcast today. My name is Paul Fletcher, and this is The Healing Source. We are deep into season number 9, and this entire season is dedicated to understanding and further developing the nature, power, and the significance of spiritual channels. So what are spiritual channels? Well, I discussed that actually in the first and even the second of this series. So if you missed that, then make sure you go back, hit subscribe, and listen to those. But in a nutshell, you and I have been and always will be connected to our source and our soul. And it's like an open phone line. Our source, our soul, and we even have many, many guides, additional souls, if you will, that are here to assist us. They always have a telephone in their ear talking to us, so to speak. Their channels are always open, their channels are always on, and they are always chatting with us. And why then do we not hear them? Well, very simply because our spiritual channels are closed or significantly reduced. Possibly they're open, but we refuse to listen because we prefer to follow our mind's guidance. For the most of humanity, we have a variation of all the above. In the ancient traditional teachings of the ancient masters, they have developed ways to understand what is a spiritual channel, specific practices to help develop and sustain the opening of those spiritual channels. And then there's further wisdom and teachings, which we won't be covering in this series, on how to do personal practice at your own home to actually receive the messages with clarity, to understand the accuracy of those messages, to work with when you do open your third eye and you see an image. One of the big mistakes is that people don't really understand the message behind the image. They might make a unilateral assumption that whatever the image is exactly what the message is, and very often that is not the case. And so that form of development of your spiritual channels, that comes with time, that comes with training with an advanced teacher who knows how to steer you and guide you to be able to discern quality flows, quality information from your channels, as well as the ability to discern the accuracy of what you are receiving through your channels, the information. Even third eyes, there's different practices for all this, and none of that will be covered in this series. This is more about helping you to understand the nature and power significance of spiritual channels for your overall health and wellness, and for your understanding of why it's so important to develop them. Now, I covered all that in the previous 2 live stream podcasts. So if you missed those, you can go to just about any podcaster out there, type in The Healing Source, and you will find me. It's also on my YouTube channel. It's also on my Wellspring of Light website, so you can find these just about anywhere. Now today, we're going to talk about the first of 4 major channels. What are these 4 channels? They are the soul language channel, the divine direct communication, soul communication channel, the third eye channel, and the direct knowing channel. Today, we're going to be focusing on the soul language channel. What, why, and how. Now, the soul language channel has quite a few attributes, qualities, and benefits. Essentially, it is the foundation of the 4 channels in terms of the connection of the channels themselves. Last week, literally the title of the podcast was Setting the Foundation for Opening and Developing Our Spiritual Channels. And if you remember, I spoke about the heart chakra, the lower dantian, and the kundalini. And I gave very brief but specific practices that I recommended you do 15 minutes each. Bats sets the energetic foundation. That helps to open the flume, so to speak, so that the fire can receive oxygen and things can burn. That's a metaphor, if you will. But in essence, if you want to further how to develop your spiritual channels, then you need to know about these 4 channels. The soul language channel is the foundation of the other 3 channels. My teacher, Master Sha, has shared no less than 1,000 times that when you develop this channel, then the other 3 will much more readily and automatically develop. So for those of you that are frothing at the mouth to open your third eye, and that's all you really care about, if you want to open it, then you need to develop this channel. Okay? And even if you did open it, and even if you did see third eye images, you still do not know how to receive a message that comes with that third eye image, because every third eye image comes with a little package right next to it, and within that package is the words of what is meant to be understood with that image. So if you don't have soul language and soul language communication channels open, the ability to discern what you're being shown in your third eye is kind of useless, and you might even make some mistakes assuming that you know what that image might be. It is also key for setting up for the direct knowing channel, because although it has been shared, and I will certainly put emphasis on this, that the highest of these 4 channels is actually the direct knowing channel. It is one of those channels that is much more readily and easily developed when you spend time developing the one we're going to be working on today. Okay, so let's jump on in. I have a screen I'll share with you as soon as I set it up for the slideshow. All right. Now there will be certain slides in here that I'll share with you, and certain ones I'm just going to flip on past, very simply because some of them don't immediately apply, and some of them I simply can't explain in the short amount of time that we have. Okay, there we have developing soul language channel. Opening the soul language. So what is the soul language? It is the language of the soul. You reveal your soul language by chanting a special mantra. So let's pause there just a moment. What does that mean, the language of the soul? That means that your source, your creator, in some of the texts, some of the written texts that are out there, it says that in the beginning there was sound. Okay? So voice or mantra or sound carries a frequency, carries a vibration, just like light does. Soul language carries a frequency and a sound that is in alignment with your soul. It is your soul's voice, so to speak. So your soul is a much higher frequency than you. Remember, you are simply a personality. You are worm food in another 100 years. Okay? So you are almost the description of temporary when it comes to this life experience. You might think you're somebody, you might think you're something, but you are here to elevate your soul's journey so that your soul can become a pure light being, thereby being able to serve others. It is a oneness consciousness, and that is the path, whether you agree with it or not. So along that way, all the souls, your heavens teams, the source, they're always communicating with you. The phone line is always open, and this channel is the channel that that information is received through. And how can you understand Arabic if you don't study Arabic? So the soul language is about opening up a frequency within your spiritual vessel that allows the frequency of your soul, the frequency of the soul of the source, and all your heavens teams. That frequency can then be understood and spoken once you have further opened and developed your soul language channel. Welcome, Laurie. Thanks for saying hi. All right, let's pop back over here to another slide. Now you see here there's a mantra, and this mantra is how you open the soul language channel itself. Okay, I'm going to go over this mantra with you, and we're going to spend maybe 5 minutes on it, and then the rest of this is going to be a bit of a blur because I have a lot to cover. Hey, hung, hong, ah, shi, yi, wong, yo. If you have been following my live streams, my podcasts, you will have heard this just last week. or not just last week, but just the last series number 8, because each one of these sounds is correlated to a chakra. Hey is the first chakra, hung is the second chakra, and so forth. Yo on the end here is the channel that goes down the back of the body. This set of mantra words, Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo, is a series of tones that each carry a frequency. When you chant these tones rapidly, which I will describe shortly, what it does is it's the equivalent of gathering a significant amount more light and chi from all that is around you, all that is you, and for lack of a better word, it literally cracks open your soul channel. It cracks open your heart center. It cracks open your ability to connect with your soul in the soul world in a much more powerful way prior to this than you've ever been able to do. Okay? That's a pretty bold statement, but that's what it is. That's what it does. Okay? It's not something that's questionable, because many thousands, probably close to 100,000, have used this mantra and this practice, and they have opened their spiritual channels, doing exactly the example I'm going to share with you. Now, again, because this podcast is condensed, you will have to do this practice on your own to see the results. How do you do it? Give me a moment. The special mantra is spoken faster and faster. As you speak it faster, you must release the innate pattern of controlling the pronunciation. So for those of you that love to enunciate everything exact, hey, hung, hong, ah, shi, yi, wong, yo. The message is you have to speak this as fast as humanly possible, to the point and to the degree it becomes a blur. You want to speak it so fast that your words no longer even make sense, that it's just one big blur coming out of your mouth. And for some people, this is extraordinarily difficult because they want to say, hey, hung, hung, ah, shi, yi, wong, yo, hey, hung, hung, ah, shi, yi, wong, yo, hey, hung, hung, ah, shi, yi, wong, yo, and they run out of breath because they're too busy trying to make the exact enunciation. You will not achieve opening your soul language if you try that. My suggestion is let go of the need to enunciate exactly. Say the words Hey hung hong ah shi yi wong yo as quickly as possible, and let it become a blur. I will give you an example. We'll go back to the words here. Hey hung hong ah shi yi wong yo. Do it with me. Hey hung hong ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hong ah shi yi wong yo. Now, some of you, you're just saying these words for the first time. Well, I did cover it before, so go back and listen to season 8. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Faster, faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Faster, faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. 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 Hey hung hung ah shi. You see, my words are already blurring. They're not even in order anymore. And guess what? That's okay. That's exactly what you want to accomplish. Let's do it again. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Faster, faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. 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 Hey hung hung ah shi. So instantly I went into my soul language that is associated with the soul language channel, because I've done this for many years now. But that's what happens. I will give you an example again. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Faster, faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. 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 Faster, faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey fast, fast, faster. Faster, fast, faster. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung ah shi yi wong yo. So, if you're normal, then that to you will sound like crazy man talk, gibberish, and that's okay. That's exactly when you know you've released your soul language. So here's what happens to the human mind when we get to that point and you're speaking faster, 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 and then this is released. The gibberish starts coming out, and your monkey mind says, what the heck is this? That's not, and it shuts you down. And so in that moment, when your monkey mind says, what is this? The stops. For most of us, this will be a process. That will very likely happen if this is your first time doing this. So what do? You go back, you repeat, and you tell your monkey mind to shut the heck up and to go away. And as it comes out, you revert to watching it versus judging it. You just watch it. And as it comes out, blah, 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 whatever it is, okay, and it could sound strange. It could sound like la 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 la. It could come out very strange. Trust me. It could be weird, strange, and you're hoping no one is watching you, and that's okay. But in your case, you watch it, you do not judge it, and you try to let it go for a minute. Try to let it go for 2 minutes, okay? If you're not sure, did I really release my soul language? Then you start over. Hey hung hung la shi yi wong yo. Hey hung hung la shi yi wong yo. Faster, 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 faster. If it comes out again, guess what? Congratulations, you've released your soul language, okay? We do not have time today to do this, but those are the steps. Those are the things you watch out for, and if you are not having success, go back and listen to this 5-minute segment. Again, I give you all the solutions within this 5-minute segment. You just do what is guided. Next, when your soul language comes out, then what will happen? It is the key for communicating with your soul and all of the other souls. You might be thinking it's gibberish, but what in essence is happening is you are elevating your frequency, you are elevating your vibration. Remember I told you at the beginning, the soul world is, they've got a cell phone in their ear, they're talking to you all the time. Okay? They're literally talking to you all the time. But we can't hear it. God's talking to you, your soul's talking to you, soul world's talking to you, saying, go here, don't go there, don't go there. Think this, don't think that. Here's your solution. It's not the one you're making up with your mind. The soul world is always talking to you 24/7. Our ability to hear them is cracking open this channel. And once we start talking in that soul language, that gibberish kind of sound, what is that doing? That is cracking open that channel wider and further. And you don't have to grasp it, you don't have to understand it. You can simply still think you're a little bit crazy for doing it. That's all still okay. But here will be the side effect. Through that day, the next day, you'll start to receive higher layers of intuition. You're going to know things. You're going to know who's going to call before they call. You're going to know you got an email before you get the email. You're going to know what somebody's going to say before they say it. You're going to hear the solutions to the things that have been a problem for a long time. And the only thing that will have changed is you'll have cracked open this ability to communicate better with the soul world. That is the relevance of this channel. So your soul language channel, because your soul language carries your soul's frequency, not your frequency, it carries your soul's frequency. Your soul's frequency is very high. It can literally offer healing to others. Dear my soul, you could be 1,000 miles away from your best friend that has a massive migraine headache, and you can say, dear my soul language, please offer a blessing in whatever way is appropriate to my friend with the migraine, and then you can sit there and go, hey, chant your language, and as you go into it, you can chant faster, 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 blah, 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 blah. You can do it silently, perfectly okay. Do it for like 5 minutes minimum, 10 minutes. Check with your friend. Like, I don't know what you did, but my migraine is much better now. That's the power of your soul. This is just one of the many benefits of developing your soul language and this channel. Your soul language can be translated, which we go into more in the next live stream podcast. It's called the Divine Direct Soul Communication Channel. And that channel is more about translating the message that you hear. Okay? It's more about speaking your soul language, and then what am I saying? It's more about, dear Jesus, could you please give me a message? And then you pause and you receive. You're receiving through your direct soul communication channel. Dear Buddha, can you please give me a message? You're receiving through your direct soul communication channel. Okay? And by developing your soul language channel, as I said in the beginning, this is the foundation for the other 3 channels. As you develop this channel, you spend more time chanting Hey Hung Hung La Shi Yi Wong Yo, which, if you attended last series, that is also the mantra for the Chi channel. The chi channel goes up your chakras, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down your back. Hey hung hung ashi yi wong yo, down your back. Hey hung hung ashi yi wong yo, down your back. So when you chant hey hung hung ashi yi wong yo, faster, 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 and you release your soul language, then in essence you are chanting your chi channel. You are bringing heaven and earth's life force, frequency, and vibration through you at a much more accelerated pace, thereby healing yourself much faster, opening your channels much faster, thereby causing your ability to receive a message from Jesus or from Buddha with greater ease. Make sense? Okay, it's all connected. All right. Your soul language can help you to translate. We covered that. Your soul language is an important key for opening your spiritual channels. I've been explaining that in great detail. Here's an interesting one for you. All souls speak soul language. All souls can be understood through soul language. Let's just pause there for a moment. All souls speak soul language. Okay? One of the foundation wisdom teachings that Master Sha brings to humanity is that everyone and everything originates from the source. It might be the smallest energy in matter that has not created form yet, but it's still source. And when that smallest energy in matter that is source, that is souls of source, those are souls, that smallest energy in matter that has not created a form yet, when it creates a piece of sand, that piece of sand is a soul because it was formed from source. So the wisdom is everything has a soul. And when you look at the wisdom here, it says all souls speak the same language. What does that mean? All souls speak with the same frequency of source. So does your heavens team speak the same language? Yes. Does God speak the same? Yes. All souls speak the same language. Does a tree have a soul? Well, we just covered that. A piece of sand does, so certainly a tree does. And you can ask that tree, hey, tree, looks like you've been around for 300 or so years. What was your life like this last 300 years? And you could literally get an answer if your spiritual channels are open. Okay? Because everything has a soul and everything has the ability to communicate with. Now, for some of you, this might be like hodgepodge, hocus pocus stuff. That's okay. Maybe you're not ready yet. Everyone has a certain point in their soul journey. But when you are ready, this wisdom will be here waiting for you, because what cannot be changed is ultimate wisdom and ultimate truth. And this has been around for many, many thousands of years, far longer than your little blip on the radar as an ego with the name Bob or Mary or whatever. So open your heart, open your mind to the possibility of higher wisdoms that can assist you. Heaven and heaven's messengers and your guides, angels, and saints, and your soul are always there to serve you, to bring your higher comprehension and understanding. So soul language can be transformed into a soul song. We're not going to cover that today, but your soul song carries a higher frequency than soul language. Okay? So there's a lot of benefits here that come with it. Now let's talk about the soul language channel. So there is a channel that runs through your body, and it is not the channel that you chant on. The channel you chant on, Hei Hung Hung Ashi Yi Wong Yo, goes up your 7 chakras, down your back. This is called the Chi channel. It is not a spiritual channel, but it is utilized to develop the soul language channel. It is utilized, to help you open your soul language. But once your soul language is open and you're just chanting it on a consistent basis, it has the effect of bringing healing to you. It has the effect of opening your abilities to receive more pure soul messages. However, it is not the same as a soul language channel. That is entirely different. Now, soul language channel has a specific pathway. What does that mean, a specific pathway? It means that the source light, the source pathway through which the source frequency and vibration comes through your vessel, the physical vessel, the soul that is you're superimposed upon and with, it comes through a very specific pathway. That's what this means. That's what a channel means. Okay? Let's take a look at this. Every soul has a message to share. The soul language channel is like a universal translator. So you hear about Spock and Star Trek and all of the newer versions of Star Wars and all that. Everyone seems to be able to talk to aliens without any difficulty. They have a universal translator. Well, think of your soul language channel as a universal translator. So there is an inner and an outer language channel. Where is the soul language channels located? Well, in this image, if those on a podcast, you can go to my website and go to my blog, and I show all these images on my video. The inner soul language channel starts at the lower dantian. It goes up through the kungong to the heart chakra message center, to the fifth soul house, and then out the mouth. So it starts in the base of your torso. It goes through the oil lamp, the kungong oil lamp, which is basically superimposed over your third chakra. It's not your third chakra, it's a separate center. That then goes up through your heart chakra, receiving purity of message, and then goes to your fifth soul house, your throat, and then out your mouth. This is the inner soul language channel. Okay? The inner soul language channel, when you chant this language, it is the receiver for all inner soul communication. Inner soul communication. So messages to yourself, inside yourself, versus messages from a tree. That's an outer soul communication. Okay? And you receive through this channel through your guides, angels, and saints. You're talking to a rabbit, you're talking to a tree, you're talking to the ocean, you're talking to the Himalayan mountains, you're talking to the universe. Outer souls. Okay? And then the outer soul language channel comes in directly through the heart center, in between the shoulder blades. So it comes to the back of your shoulder blades, directly to your heart chakra, up to your throat, and then out your mouth. So receives messages from outside souls, allows for pure messages, not filtered through the body. It's not filtered through the body. And this is an important note. Again, series number 8, last series, we talked about the chakras, the relevance to your health and wellness. This points out here that if you have blockages in your fourth or fifth chakra, your heart chakra or your throat chakra, the purity of the messages could be negatively impacted. Okay? So if you're holding a lot of trauma here from childhood, you're holding a lot of trauma here from somebody physically or sexually molesting you, you're holding a lot of trauma here from the vows of love that somebody made to you and then they broke those vows, right? And now you're destitute. All of this, if this is not purified and cleared through the practices already described to you multiple times in all of my previous podcasts, then basically you're trying to take clean water, run it through a field of dirt and expect clean water to come out the other end. It's not going to work too well for you, okay? So you want to purify your heart chakra. You want to do the practice to purify your heart chakra. And your throat chakra, we talked about this in that teaching as well. Your throat chakra could have blockages. What would cause those? Not speaking out when you should have, and thereby people were potentially harmed or experienced more harm than they needed to because you chose not to speak out, because your ego was such that you wanted to shrink. Speaking out too much, maybe you were a king or someone in an authority position, fire everybody, cut off their heads, whatever it is. Those kinds of voice-based things can create negative messages and information on your fifth chakra, okay? So these kinds of things could impact the purity of a message that you receive from the soul world. All right? So to wrap up, this is one of 4 major channels. It is called the soul language channel. It starts by developing your soul language using the mantra He Hung Hong Ah Shi Yi Wong Yo, which is the sound power of each of the 7 chakras and the channel down the back. When you combine it, He Hung Hong Ah Shi Yi Wong Yo, then that reflects the entire Qi channel. Qi channel is good for energy, healing, very, very beneficial. Chant it often. But when you chant it quickly, as already described, then you can reveal your soul language, which sounds like gibberish. I share with you, avoid your mind analysis of it. Just let it come out again and again and again. Once it comes out 2 or 3 times, you know your soul language is out. You can use it for many things, including healing others. And by chanting it often, you further open and develop your ability to receive pure and clear messages. Okay? Even if you think you might have blockages in your throat chakra or your heart chakra, dear the soul of my soul language, which I have revealed. Hey, hung, hung, ashi, wong, you go faster, 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 right? Dear the soul of this language, which I have revealed, please come out. As I chant you for the next 5 or so minutes, please bless and heal any blockages in my heart center and in my throat chakra to purify this area so that I can receive better, pure messages from the soul world. That's an example of how you can use it to self-heal. Okay? So this is everything that I've covered today in a nutshell. It is actually something that should be in an entire 2-day course, and it is. Master Sha's top teachers offer that. This is a nutshell overview to help you have a better comprehension of the nature, power, and significance of the soul language channel. So I want to thank you. I hope you return next week when I cover the development of the Divine Direct Soul Communication channel. So thank you, everyone. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.